Hi y'all, I'm over at Sunbird 1010 West. I know I said that I probably wouldn't make it back in this unit again, but my now buyer needs a little bit of help. We're getting it ready for the Vacasa rental unit list again. It previously was on the Vacasa rental list for the seller. So I wanted to do a video, explain how I made my commissions on this one, explain how exciting of a story this was. I've sold this unit twice. I've made 5 paychecks and I've earned almost $20,000 on this one unit. So maybe just a little bit of an educational video, maybe teach buyers, sellers, realtors, and investors a little bit about how everybody makes money on these units in real estate. So about a year ago, I represented the then buyer. He's also a California broker. He wanted to invest in the Panama City area in a condo. So we found a unit over at Sunbird, and I explained to him Sunbird is one of our older condominiums in the area, and we highly talked about assessments and how they can become due at any time. So this condo, it did have a bit of rust on the building. There were some areas that I felt they could have been better taken care of. They were redoing the pools at the time with the Trex decking, but that really doesn't take care of rust that you see on metal when you're going to the elevators, on the walkways and the common areas. So I really had an inclination that, you know, assessments might become due at this condominium at any time. So again, I really stressed that to my buyer, seller. He was a California broker. He really loved this unit, so he bought it. It was at the time the highest price sold unit at Sunbird, selling at $315,000. It was completely remodeled by the previous owners. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath with a pull-out couch, so it sleeps 6. So about 6 months after he purchased the unit, sure enough, the assessments became due. I think that this largely has to do with the Surfside Tower collapse that happened in down South Florida. And there are 7 condominiums that I know of in the Panama City Beach area currently that have assessments that are due. This one in particular, his assessment was almost $30,000 for just the one unit. And there's multiple ways of taking care of this. So you could pay it out of pocket. You could do a loan. I believe that they wanted him to do a 3-year loan for the $30,000. Or you can sell the unit and pay it all at closing. And that is the choice that the investor decided to take. He felt that it was best for him. So this time around, we ended up selling the unit for $340,000. He did end up breaking about even on the sale after paying commissions and paying the assessments. But this is the unit that he was earning $37,000 per year from the rental investments through Vacasa. So again, Vacasa, I really feel highly about them. I think that they do a great job. I've always heard great reviews. I have heard that they take about 20% of your rental profits, but I learned recently that this is negotiable. The buyer for this unit this time around, he has 11 units, and they actually will negotiate that amount with you. So that's why I'm here today. Vacasa has a rental checklist. You have to go down and make sure that you have everything in place. Since it was already on Vacasa, we knew everything was here. But they do also have to go through a fire safety checklist. I believe it's when the fire inspector comes in and they sign off on it that it's safe. But Vacasa requires that every time that it's rented out again. It takes about a week, so we only have about a week that it's not being rented. So now to get to how I ended up making about $20,000 on this unit. So I did tell you that I sold it once. With the buyer seller being a California broker, we do actually do a referral commission for other licensed real estate agents. So I made, I'm not gonna say a small amount, but it was smaller than what I normally would make because I shared that commission with him. But he ended up renting through Vacasa, and they give a small amount to the realtors for their help as well. So that was my second check. We got it on the market after he decided not paying the assessments. Let's let it go. It's rose in value. So we got it under contract. We were under contract for about 45 days, and the buyer was not able to buy. So in my listing agreements, we do often have that the brokerage receives half of any escrow deposits that are given to sellers. And typically what that amount is used for is to revamp the advertising, and that's exactly what I did. I put it on Facebook, where you do the sponsor ads. I did Instagram sponsored ads. So I really do a lot of advertising. If you've seen my work, I do professional photos, videos, drawn, not just these videos that I make. I actually hire someone to do it. So that was my third paycheck. I did receive half of that escrow that the buyers had given up, not being able to purchase. So we went back on the market. I had it under contract within a few days. I actually had it under contract a little bit above the asking price. The seller, you know, of course, they always want to make comments about you're making all this money, but like I told the seller, I've earned it. And I did, I earned it. So that's how we ended up getting this Nashville singer-songwriter in. He loved the unit. I really feel sometimes that, not sometimes, all the time, whenever you're representing both sides, you have more control over the transaction. So like I mentioned, we had previously been under contract and it fell apart. We didn't know everything that was going on the buyer's side because I wasn't representing the buyer. When you're representing both sides, you can get more of a comfortable feeling that we're actually going to close, and you know everything that the buyer is doing, and you know that they're taking those steps to close. I want to actually mention on this one too, we used Bell Commercial Lending. They actually got a loan on it. It wasn't a cash purchase. We ended up closing in about 21 days. So that's a really fast closing. So again, got my third and fourth, I guess, paychecks from the closing. Really essentially only one paycheck, but I earned both sides of it that you typically don't expect. And then they decided to run out through Vacasa as well. So I now have a fifth paycheck that I'm expecting. All of that together totals, I think it's about $19,000 something. So just on one unit, you know, it's just not whenever you sell the unit, it's not on closing day that you're done. Continue to work, try and help out your buyers and sellers as much as possible. Stay in touch, and then it will continue to make money. I wish that I had more condos that I could continue to work on like this. I honestly hope that my buyer now doesn't want to sell. I hope he's really happy with his purchase. But that is a little insight on how I made my money on this unit, how realtors make their commissions. Also want to mention too that the buyer, he had asked at one point, so how much do I owe you? How much is your commission for representing me? And it was really nice to tell him nothing, that the seller actually pays the commission. So again, sellers pay the commission at closing. We don't get paid if we don't sell. And then you can earn some extra money from helping out your buyers whenever they put on referral rental programs.